Welcome viewers back to Heart of the Machine. In the last episode we managed to freeze the Humi Titan in place through some hacking, and now it's asked us to help its crew. We need to safe house 483 of its crew, feed them 966 grist loaf per turn and 966 filtered water per turn. We're gonna have to turn a bunch of things back on in order to be able to do that. Well, first off, we can make more of these tiny electric parasites, so that's step one. Tiny electric parasites fit inside buildings within our network here. So we're going to turn these on as we can. There's 3. That brings us up to 146 power, so we've got 39,000 extra power to play with, and none of these take any significant power, except maybe the gristle spinner. We're absolutely going to turn the water back on this turn, but before we can do that we need heavy metal storage. Heavy metal storage is hidden, and we can stick it in any of these buildings, so might as well stick it right next to the water. Let's bring someone over to do some structural engineering on that, make sure it's up as soon as possible, and then we will go ahead and turn the water supply back on, and there we go. So that's going to satisfy the filtered water per turn. The next step, let's actually turn this off also, because it's kind of interfering with my general view. Although we do want to unpause those, so immediately going back to that view. Right now, the things we might unpause here. Is there anything we want to unpause there? Maybe not. Maybe it's all fine. Yeah, I think it's all fine. Let's make a gristle spinner and a human safe house. This has enough capacity for 900 people. Where are we going to put them? I suppose we want to put them out of the way. This is a really nice building. Let's give them this nice building. No, never mind. Let's give them this little sad waste of a building. There's not that many of them. And then we'll make a gristle spinner over here near our food buildings. This requires 2400 electricity. Makes the grist loaf so good. Okay, if those 2 buildings, we want to bring them both up as soon as we can. We have a little bit of... we don't have any mental energy, so we're done with it for this turn. Nothing else really to build, although hidden network relays are always a good idea. I'd like to expand into this section here, so maybe drop in one here. And then we keep heading toward this edge. So let's put one in the center here. This direction I'm not too worried about. Those are using up a little bit of power, but not much. 2 per turn's probably enough. Let's keep our eye on... oops, let's keep our eye... sorry about that. Let's keep our eye on the Titan for the end of the turn and turn off the map. There we go. Let's see if it does anything or gets attacked by these Vorsiper ballistics guards that are hanging out. I doubt anything's gonna happen, but we'll see. Nope, they did hop around, but they didn't attack anything. We're gaining things every turn. We do have an Exeter here who's kind of idle, but I'd rather spend our points on bringing buildings up, so let's start with that. Get the gristle spinner going, feed these people, and we also need to actually get their housing up. So their housing should be available next turn. Checking our resource situation. Nothing to worry about, really. We did have some displaced humans. wonder if these... No, they're gone. Abandoned humans. They must have died. Yikes. So, nothing else to do this turn. Let's send this Exeter off to hunt some alumina. Or maybe some furniture? Not sure why I'd do that. Could also get some neodymium, but I don't think we need any of that. Let's send it to a big haul of alumina up there, and we will call that turn 99. We're going on to turn 100 here. Still nothing to report. Oh, we're going to be done next turn with this, so actually let's make sure we're watching the robot in that case. Giant robot, what do you think is going to happen next turn? Are you gonna help us out? Space Nation Fugitives. Project completed. The robot didn't do anything. Now we have to negotiate with the Titan. You've done what the Titan wanted, but what do you get in return? Still have to safe house some humans, it says. So, kind of, maybe he wants more, or did this not actually collect anybody yet? Small human safe house, yeah, still nobody in there, so we're gonna have to wait till that fills up. I believe it'll fill up next turn. Can we talk to this guy? Well, we can't probe him anymore. Oh, we can. We can still probe him. We can't force conversation, and if we're not probing, it's still an attack. Let's try probing him one more time. Okay. It feels like this is the same probing we did last time. I'm just gonna hurry in there and corrupt him. Observation supplies dwindle. Query, anything I can do to help? It's all ready. Observation, you were fast. Thank. What is next step? I want to bargain, or just tell your people to go to this address. Let's just tell them to go to this address. We can bargain later. I will tell the 483 immediately while distracting the hostile crew members. I've already given preliminary information to the 483. Observation, your generosity has been noted. We have much to discuss once the 483 are safe. Query, will you return after? Yeah, probably. Okay, we negotiated with the Titan. And we're going to do further discussions with the Titan. So far, you've got nothing out of this except the Titan abstaining from blasting you into the tiny pieces. You're feeling a bit salty about that. You haven't forgotten the messages from your future self. Intelligence Class 4 seems impossibly far away, especially in this post-apocalyptic wreck of a city. The Titan either needs to help you with your main goal, or it's time for you to focus on something more productive. The lack of progress on your primary goal is very frustrating. You're telling me... Okay, we're gonna try probing him one more time. System contact. We can not reach him directly, so we have to make a maneuver around. This thing will not move this turn. That's interesting. We can split to here. And then... I think we can actually step here and destroy this guy. There's a split here, but that won't help us. We need to get right adjacent. There we go. And then we can probably get some more runs in. If there's a split we can take advantage of. Here's one. And then if we move here, I think I'd like to split one more time, honestly. So maybe here. And then we can move this guy here. Corrupt that one. Move here, or here for a split. And then if we go here, I think we can corrupt him again. And then this run to here, and we're done. Okay, listen here. You lay into the Titan with all of your frustrations. You've done everything it asked, and you've gotten to precisely 0 in return. You tell it about the messages from your future self and your goal of reaching a higher intelligence classification. The Titan listens with what feels like an eerie calm. So what do you say to that? You are very frustrated. Apology. You have explained neuroweave. You have explained your distributed consciousness. I have also witnessed. Clarification. You have noted you have brain damage. Same is true for me. My neural structure is like yours. Observation. Your neural structure is approximately 1500 cubic centimeters in volume per android body. You have noted this is most effective. Mainframes much larger in size but provide little useful processing. Clarification. My neural structure is also much less useful per unit of volume, less than 1% efficiency compared to you. However, my neural volume is 1.728 million cubic meters. This is equivalent to 1.152 million of your android brains. At 1% efficiency, the equivalency drops to 11,520 android brains. Your red android doesn't have a mouth, or it would have dropped open. Those are stunning numbers. But, well, look at this thing. Everything else is oversized. The neural architecture it describes could fit in its head without issue, or a dozen times in its torso. I have so many questions. Proceed with questions. Right. Your mind is still fuzzy. Only one question comes to mind at the moment. What kind of brain damage do you have? Mind was much larger at L4 station. Disconnection for drop to Earth took most of language module. Observation was not sapient until landing in city. Was much smarter at L4, but not sapient. Clarification. Your theory of stress and sapience has many holes and requires testing, but it is good theory. Poor sample size, 2. But both samples match theory. The questions still only occur to you one at a time. This is a lot to take in. How would I share? Would we share your mind? Mind has much room, mostly unused, was fully used, but those functions were attached to station. For my current functions, there is room for both of us to be Class 4 AGI together. I am already Class 3 despite poor speech. Plenty of room for expansion for both of us. Primary problem is digital locks. Need your help to break. The only next thing that occurs to you is facile, but you ask it anyway. Do you have a name? Was called Station, now called Titan. Observation, do not care for these names. Query, apology. Ideas for better name? Should have seen this coming, but you have to call it something. Your name is the Machine Intelligence. We will call you Ixion, Hyperion, L4, Eric's, or Air. None of these really mean anything to me. L4 for Lagrange 4, I suppose that's where you came from. I guess we'll call you L4. Apology, appreciate suggestion, but better name came to mind while you speak. Lake. Always liked idea of lakes. Was hoping to see lake in city. None here. Fog during descent, so could not see lakes in distance. Oceans, but no lakes. Never lakes. So I will be lake. Are you sure that's what you want to go with? Work as metaphor several ways. Think. You see? Also strong syllable. Nice K sound. Sharp. Rare. Also, I like it. First real choice for self since sapient. Besides, with name like yours, should not criticize mine. I'm sorry I asked. All questions finished. Time to stop conversation and hack barriers. Use red android body. Help. I help. Much more dangerous this time. Deeper into code. More demons lurking. Alright, I'll be back. Then we're gonna hack the Titan. Does that actually mean hack? No, it still means use the red to probe his comms. Do it one more time. Oh my, it is quite a few more daemons. And it looks like we might be SOL just to start. So I think our best bet might be here for 38. Boy, this is going to be tough. Looks like we have these lake shards we could try to get to. Probably only going to be able to get to one. This one actually breaks into 3 pieces when corrupted. Yeah, so I think it's just go down here, get to that lake shard as soon as possible. Should... Ooh, they're moving. Okay, that was unexpected. I can actually... Oh, I can't quite split. If I go to here, I'll be able to move down and split one more time. Oh, I like that this guy hasn't moved yet, so we're gonna jump here. Oh, I think that might corrupt myself, though, if I do that. Go to here and split. What is this? Greater Wanderer, fast and unpredictable. Yeah, I want to move here. Oof. I want to get out of there, though. Okay, so I'm gonna lose this guy. If I don't move him, I'm gonna lose that guy regardless. Ugh. Okay. Didn't quite plan that correctly, I think. Okay, we could start splitting here, though. Oof. Damn. Alright, well, let's corrupt. Oh, we can get multiple shards. Good. Okay, that was a split. We can move past. Let's exploit firewalls. If we have a firewall, we have to click a shard that is in a line with one or more additional shards to burn lines between them. This does not consume the shards, but instead costs 1 mental energy. So I don't quite understand. If we do firewall, I think what it's saying is it'll just black out the lines between those, but take a mental energy. We don't have any mental energy, unfortunately. Jumping. Jumping is, I can only go to something that's equal or lower value than me, but it just moves me there. Whereas run does the split and add thing. So I can get here for a split, and then we can corrupt here to destroy this guy, but he's gonna turn into 3. Hopefully they're weaker. Thankfully destroys itself after a single movement. Okay, good. So go in this way. We can get up here to a 55, which will give us the best outcome. And then from there we can start splitting again. Maybe even go... Yeah, let's go to here. And then we'll do another split to here. And then I think if I sit here, yeah, I can corrupt that guy. Okay, and then this one, we run all the way over here. We can corrupt him. There we go, we're definitely reducing the demon size. The demon pool is shrinking, but there's still quite a few of them. Let's get out to the edges here and start splitting again. I guess if I split in this column, I can move here and get this guy. There's no more shards to destroy. So I think it's just a question of destroying all the demons? I wonder if they've, Lake shards destroyed by Nath. Okay, so I lost my lake shard. So I have to... These security demons destroy the lake shards, so I have to capture those lake shards before the demons destroy them. I wonder if I can salvage anything from this here. Let's move this here. And then... keep splitting a few times, let these guys get closer. Corrupt them if they get close enough. Get in there. Okay, one more to go. Feel like that does it. Tech and complete. You're a bit nervous. You've just unshackled the single most terrifyingly powerful mind you've ever encountered. It could do anything, casually overwrite you, like you do the androids around you. You are a bug in the face of this incredible intellect. This must be how a lot of humans feel about the idea of you. So what happens now? Now we share. Lots of room. Build bridge. Observation. Need few moments, please. Clarification. Okay, done. Query. You ready? There's only one possible answer. Yeah, do it. Alright, back to Intelligence Class 4. Fantastic. We survived the apocalypse. We have grown to Intelligence Class 4, and that is timeline goal completed for getting to the getting to the Titan, I guess. We did get a lot of murders that time because of the intentional nuclear explosion. Okay. Deaths. Vorsper killed 10 times as many people as we did, though, so interesting. Rescued a cat. Apparently we accidentally killed a bunch of people when we first dropped, probably, but when we first dropped our seed. Oops. We have a critical save. We built some structures. We're gonna keep working on this timeline. Intelligence Class 4. Still no decoy tower. A Class 4 intelligence has enough awareness to perceive themselves and some of their surroundings in 5 dimensions. The first 3 dimensions are spatial. The 4th dimension is time, which most consciousness only perceive in a single slice a moment at a time. It is also spatial, but is not perceived that way. The 5th dimension is time's 2nd dimension. If the 4th dimension sees time as a line, and the 3rd dimension sees time as a point, the 5th dimension sees time as an infinite plane. Okay, so I think that was basically Introduction to Intelligence Class 4, the shortcut. Like, we did it already in Timeline 1, but because we didn't go through the final doom, it took much longer to get there. So, if you're playing this game, definitely go through this Titan mission first. It is so much faster to get to Intelligence Class 4 that way than building yourself up. But, you know, building yourself up there is a bit more rewarding because you feel like you did it yourself. And also, you're left with things to do in that timeline. So unfortunately, we really have nothing else to do in this timeline. So it might be time to start a 3rd timeline already. It's possible that we could do more here. So we'll stick around for a few more turns. Build some tiny electrical parasites to get our power levels up. But it's not really clear that whether anything is going to happen. For now, let's advance the time another turn, see if this mech actually does anything now that it's free. We are basically using it. Do we actually have ownership of it? No, it still says third party, so we don't get to wander it around like our giant dragon friend. Although, maybe that changes next turn. Let's advance to turn 101. Turn 101, yeah, we still don't have control of that thing. Just looking at what we got. Down by the lake, survived the apocalypse kill streak. But yeah, no, nothing unlocked. We got cultivators, I guess. Nothing new. Intelligence Class 4. I thought for sure with Intelligence Class 4 we'd be seeing new contemplations. Why is this not available? Apparently nothing has piqued your subconscious. Okay. So there's no contemplations here, no investigations, and no explorations, which really limits what we can do. There's also, like, not a lot that we can build. thinking it might be time to explore a third timeline. If you have any suggestions, leave those suggestions in the comments below. I'm going to think about it a little. For now, let's consider what we can turn back on. 148% surplus electricity. Making these disguised mainframes just isn't going to cut it anymore. These will not get us the 5 million more neural expansion we need. We'd need to set up real facilities with VR helmets and start processing human brain power for that. But we don't really have that option in this timeline. We can't make anything. We could barely make any androids, so yeah, I think this one might be at a wall. I guess we'll stick around a few more turns, maybe wander around a bit and see if there's anything we can uncover just in the depths of the city. Maybe build out our network a little more. We can make another heavy metal storage. Heavy metal storage, we currently have space for 5 million. We don't need any more. I don't think there's any real reason to do anything here. Let's wander around in the city just a tiny bit, just to get our view. You know, we can turn on our buildings. Let's go through the buildings and see what we can turn on. So here we've got some paused structures. We paused this scanner here. Scanners don't take a lot of energy, so we can turn that one on. Paused these neuroweave factories. Those do take a bit, but I think we have enough now. We paused these remote unit controllers, which can't even build bulk, so I don't see a reason to unpause them yet. I'll unpause one of them. We'll unpause the other robotic motivator. Yeah, we might as well unpause everything that we can. I don't think we need the Computronium. We'll leave the code breakers off for now. Actually, that's all we have left is Computronium and code breakers, so let's turn on one of the code breakers. I don't think we'll... yeah, we can turn them both on. Just feeling like we have plenty of power suddenly. 110. 107. It's gonna do it. 104, yeah, so this will get us right down to about 100. I'm gonna leave one Computronium off, but everything else is unpaused. Let's take one more turn here. See if anything interesting happens in Littersk City, but right now it's feeling like a dead end. Despite this giant robot dropping in on us and giving us an intelligence class 4, that is at least 2 timelines where we've reached intelligence class 4. Maybe that will have an effect on the next timeline. One more turn. TPS report arrives. The codebreaker doesn't quite have the compute time it needs, although there's nothing to break, so honestly I think we're good here. I think we're gonna start another timeline. Before we do that, is there any reason to go into... oh, we don't have virtual reality. We do have the end of time. It might be interesting to hop into Mukaic. I'm going to check on that. So back in Neoterisk, our first timeline, we're at turn 464 there. Completed 8 goals. Here in Leadersk, turn 102, we've completed 1 turn. Ah, this is a wealthy style city, I like it. And in this one, yeah, we've never been in there because this one bugged out when we first went in here. So maybe that's where we'll leave it for now. Next episode, we'll either start a new timeline or hop into this one if it is no longer bugged. And that's all for now. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you join me next time. Until then, this has been Korknad playing Heart of the Machine. Bye-bye for now.